mouth, and I'll say it a million more times, and not letting anybody on the internet change that for me, because I am not who y'all say I am who God says that I am, right? Content, post content. Why are you sitting on content? Girl, if you don't post that content and send it to me so I can support you, like, 100%, but I'm not truly dating right now because it ain't nobody to date. There's nobody to date. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today will be a little chit chat, girl chat, life update, Q&A session, whatever you want to call it. The last time I did one of these was back in January when we hit 20K, and now we're well over 35K. So a lot of new things have been happening. I went to my Instagram again and set up a little poll, and y'all poured in the questions just like every time before. So we can talk about career, we can talk about dating, talk about content creation and everything in between. Also, thank you for over 35K. That's amazing. We've been on YouTube for a little bit over a year now, so it's so amazing to just like have true community on here. I cherish y'all and I value y'all so much. We already noticed I will get sappy. Also, thank you for all the support on the content I've been posting over the last like 2 weeks-ish. I've had an uptick in sponsored posts because God has been blessing me with a lot of brand deals. So thank you for all the love and the support in the comments on those. That has been amazing, and just the organic content in general. Like, I love y'all so much. And then hopefully you enjoyed last week's vlog in DC. It was such a ball. I had a really good time. I like doing things by myself and just traveling and just getting up and doing whatever makes me happy. So I'm glad that I was allowed to do that. And I gave y'all a little bit of a life update in that vlog, but we can get into that a little bit more in this little video, and then I'll have another vlog for y'all next week. But I hope y'all are having an amazing week, and I hope y'all had an amazing weekend. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Alright, so I obviously always get a lot of questions about like content creation and just my journey and all that good stuff. So let's start there. I feel like I always start there, but I feel like that's a nice little intro to a little chit chat, you feel me? So someone asked, please tell us about your journey deciding to do content and maintaining boundaries with it. So I picked up a camera. Well, first of all, I've always had TikTok, just like we all have always had TikTok since it existed. Now, it was just for laughs and giggles in the beginning because I didn't even have an account. I was user number 7857 and whatever, you know what I mean? So when I first moved to Philly, I lived with a roommate, and then when I moved out of that apartment, I moved solo. And so I picked up a camera and started like to just film like little things like, oh, hi. Little things like getting my couch delivered or anything like putting my bed together or something like simple like that. I decorated my apartment, right? So when I started to make those videos, I started to get a little bit of engagement on them. I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. So then I ventured into like my little outfit and my little get ready with me videos in the mirror. And then I actually started to gain a little bit of a following, but I realized I wasn't really talking on camera. So I started to want to put like a voice to like what I was doing on TikTok. So then I started to go live, and I started to do more talking videos so people could actually know who I am. And that's one thing I would recommend for you if you want to start content. Stop posting voiceless content. Like, you need to add a voice to all the things that we're seeing, your errands or whatever you're doing, getting ready, whatever, because people want something to relate to at the end of the day. Now, that's a different topic to be unpacked a little bit more, but I do believe people online want something to relate to. So once you start to open up your personality and like who you are, showing who you are, is when you start to like gain community. So from there, I started to gain like actual community. People would engage with me and talk to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this could actually be a thing. And so I just started to lean into it a little bit more with like the little vlogs, spend a day with me. And then some time went by, and so many people were telling me that I should like create a YouTube or whatever. So I did that, and then it's kind of like here we are now. So like me deciding to do it wasn't really this like huge decision in my mind. It kind of just blossomed into something that I didn't know it was going to turn into. It was always super organic, still is super organic and super natural for me to do. I just have fun with it, and like I realized that passion is attached to it, so I never truly stopped. And once I just kept going down the road, God has blessed me tremendously with like signing to an agency and like gaining hundreds of thousands of community members and all that good stuff. So that's like my journey in a nutshell. But as far as boundaries go, I've always been extremely firm on them, and I'm never willing to backslide on them. Now, they can change at any point because my life has been changing throughout the last like 5-6 months or whatever, but I've always been super strong on my boundaries, and that's how I maintain my sanity online. Like, if I'm gonna make this what I do and have my passion and joy attached to it, I have to have boundaries, because I realize once you backslide on those and once you just completely let them go is when honestly this will start to engulf you and become who you are. And I am much more than just a personality online. I live and lead a real life in real life. Like, this is my real life. So it's like I never want to have the internet like fully engulf me. I never want to backslide on those boundaries, because at the end of the day, I am a person. I deserve privacy. I deserve respect. I deserve every good thing in life. So it's like, for me, my boundaries are like the line between sane and insane. Like, the boundaries are just sitting right there, and it's like, if I ever start to cross that line and just start to like forget about all those boundaries, is when this becomes a negative thing, in my opinion. Because like I said, I keep my peace through my boundaries. I keep my sanity through my boundaries. I only allow people online to know what I want them to know. Like, I've truly curated my environment, my community, and my space. And I think boundaries has helped me do that, because without them, I think people start to gain a sense of entitlement online, and people will just, you know, come for you in a way that you don't deserve necessarily. So it's like, having firm boundaries will make this so much more fun also. Not everyone needs to know 100% of everything you have going on online. Like, not everybody needs to be fully engulfed in you as a person online. Having boundaries is okay, and like I said, it has supplied me peace, it has supplied me sanity, and everything in between. So I would highly recommend, if you want to get into this space, to set your boundaries. Write them down if you have to. Let yourself know what they are, and do not backslide on them. But like I said, my life has changed, so my boundaries are kind of adjusting. They're not so much changing, but they are adjusting. Like, as far as my filming schedule goes, like, I only used to film on the weekends, and here I am sitting here on a Tuesday filming this. So it's like, things change as you evolve and as you grow, and that's okay. But as far as boundaries go, I'm never willing to really give up on the big ones that I have. Like, I'm never going to allow the internet 100% into my dating life. I'm never going to allow the internet 100% into where I live. I'm never going to 100% allow the internet fully into my finances. It's just certain things that I'm never going to do as I show up online, and as this is my career now, which, by the way, I have that update if you didn't watch the last vlog. But there's just certain things that I'm never willing to backslide on, but I'm not willing to do it in order to make this a good environment for me to be in, if that makes sense. Someone else asked, how do you think you've changed / grown since doing content creation? Oh my gosh, in so many ways I've changed / grown, but I'm always going to be who I am and who I was, because I feel like I have core values that have always been instilled in me that will never go anywhere. But I've changed so much. I've learned so much. I've learned that the internet is not always a safe space. I've learned that you can grow community, and you can feel safe, and you can feel loved. But at the same time, I've learned discretion. I've learned discernment. I have so much wisdom since being on here. And it may sound silly, but I mean, I've been living this life for about 1.5 years now. Like I said, I started about 1.5 years ago. And in the beginning, it was completely different than it is now. Now, obviously, it's completely different because this is like what I do for a living now. But there's some things that haven't changed, like community. The fullness and the richness in community hasn't changed. That's only gotten better. I mean, changed in a negative way. I've grown so much as a person. I've realized what I want, what I don't want. And it's nice to grow with community. You know what I mean? Like, even y'all could probably attest, like the people who have been here since the beginning, you can probably see how much I've grown and changed, but still remain the same in all the good ways. You know what I mean? Life is literally about growth. It's about venturing out. It's about doing different things, trying new things, and just like living, honestly. So I've grown so much. I've changed so much. But like I said, like those core things that have always been instilled in me, I don't think are going anywhere. But I've matured, I've developed, I've learned, I've lost, I've done it all, and I'm so happy to just continue to do it all. But to get more specific with that question, I think I have a better sense of self since starting content creation. Like, being online and being in front of people will bring out certain insecurities that you didn't even know that you had. Like, some people will be like, oh my gosh, your ears stick out so far from your head. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, I thought my ears were normal. And people are like, your scalp is so white. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought my scalp was normal. Now, that's what I mean, like sense of self. Like, are you gonna let those little like teeny tiny comments get to you, or are you gonna be like, okay, I know who I am, I'm gonna stand strong in who I am, and you're not gonna tell me who I am because you don't know who I am. I do, right? So it's like, I've grown such a strong sense of self since being on here. Now, I do believe I had that strong sense of self my entire life, but like I said, being in front of people will test you. Like, it'll make you think certain things that it'll make you think certain things are true that are just simply not true. And that's why I always stay grounded in my faith and allowing God to pour into me exactly who he wants me to be, and me knowing that and confirming that, and not letting anybody on the internet change that for me, because I am not who y'all say I am who God says that I am, right? And I fully believe that. So once we got that, me and God got that, anything can't come and interject it, you know what I mean? So to answer that question more specifically, again, I think I've grown a stronger sense of self since showing up online. And then I have a lot of questions here that basically ask, is content creation worth it? Can you give us tips or tricks? How do you balance this? How do you do that? Basically just about content, because I know a lot of y'all want to get into the arena. Now the question of if it's worth it, I can't answer for you. I think you have to answer that for yourself. For me, it's 100% worth it because my passion is attached to this. It's always going to be worth it because community is in it, and the true meaning of community, it fuels me and it uplifts me, because in what other aspect do you have people just like pouring into you positively? Do you know what I mean? So like that really just keeps me going. But it's always going to be worth it at the end of the day for me because community is involved, right? And passion is attached to it. And then beyond that, a blessing is on it, and favor and grace is on it. So with all those things combined, 100% is worth it because first of all, it's giving me a new life. It's giving me new friends, new community, newness in every regard. There's way more good than there is bad at all times, and I'm always thankful for that. But 100% worth it for me. But I think you have to ask yourself if it's worth it for you. But like as far as like staying motivated, I have a lot of questions about that. Now the harsh answer to how do you stay motivated is, if you want it, you want it, to be honest with you. Like if you're gonna do it, do it. For me, it's easy to stay motivated because like I said, there's a passion attached to it, there's favor attached to it, and there's community fueling me. Now it's easy to do something when you see results coming behind it, but if you do not see results, I think your passion and your joy and your love for content creation has to fuel you, because it's like you feel like you're doing something to no avail. You feel like you're pouring into something and not getting the results, and I feel like that's a lot of life in general. But if you feel that way, I think your joy and your passion and your like drive for it will have to fuel you to get beyond that point and just to keep going. Me staying motivated, like I said, has a lot to do with my community, has a lot to do with what I see God doing in my life, and like passion. Like this genuinely makes me happy to turn on this camera, talk, edit, film, whatever, post, upload, get feedback. Like this genuinely makes me happy. Like I love every aspect of this except for like obviously the little negative things, but I think when you want it, it looks different, right? And if you don't, you don't. And it's just that simple for me. And I know there's certain obstacles, certain struggles, certain strongholds or whatever that may hold you back, but it's like, are you gonna get past those to do what you want to do? Like if this gift is in your heart, this ability, this want, this desire to do something is in your heart, whether it be content creation or whatever else, you have to do it for you, and you have to want to do it to be able to maintain it, if that makes sense. Someone asked, what was your purpose to start your YouTube channel and how did you gain the courage? Thank you. Okay, so my purpose in starting is the same purpose in starting any other like platform I have. Like I genuinely have passion attached to it, but YouTube specifically, I got a lot of like influx of people being like, hey, can you create a YouTube? Hey, you should create a YouTube. And honestly, I feel like maybe a little bit that was God like speaking through some of y'all to make me realize what I like should be doing, and like should be like just blossoming into, I guess. So I took that advice from y'all and I started, and I don't know if I would have, to be honest with you, if a lot of y'all wasn't speaking to me and being like, hey, you should do this, you need to do this, like we would like to see you on this platform, we would like to see you in this space or whatever. I don't know if I really would have done that. So I have y'all to thank for that, and God speaking through y'all for that. But yeah, that's what like truly like I guess sparked me to start on YouTube. But as far as the courage goes, I think it's always easier when you have community backing you. I have said this a million times, and I'll say it a million more times. Community is everything, like everything and then some. If community backs you, it makes you feel like you cannot fail. Like I have my community to fall back on. Like I knew when I created a YouTube that y'all were gonna migrate over here to support me. Like I knew it because I was already getting support on TikTok and Instagram. So it was like, what's one more thing, you know what I mean? So a lot of my courage and my strength comes from my community, and I am so blessed to have y'all. Like seriously, I don't think nobody understand. I don't think you understand. Community is everything. It translates into every aspect of what you want to do online. I've always said this. 50 community members is better than 500 random followers, because you're going to have 50 likes, you're going to have those 50 comments, you're going to have those 50 shares, but 500 random followers online aren't going to give you anything. They're not going to do anything for you. So another tip is to just be trying to curate community. And a lot of people are like, how do I do that? Show up as your authentic self online. Post high quality content. I always say I don't have no tricks. I don't have no tricks in my bag, but I got a couple of tips. Show up as your authentic self online. As cheesy as this sounds, nobody is going to be able to do you like you, period. There's only one of you. So show up as yourself online. I think a lot of the time when people don't show up as themselves online, others can tell. We can tell when you're trying to crimp somebody else out. We can tell when you're trying to be somebody else that you're not. So if you show up as you, post the content you want to see, high quality, consistently, people are going to gravitate toward and flock toward you because you're being your most authentic self. Unless you're being hateful and just doing something that's not supposed to be done, people are going to flock toward you, period. Especially if you have a passion and a joy attached to this, and especially if you have a vision attached to it. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to say this: post that content. Post the content, post the content, post the content. Why are you sitting on content? Girl, if you don't post that content and send it to me so I can support you, like, seriously, stop sitting on content. Y'all be like, what do you do? Post the content. You already filmed it. You literally filmed it. You filmed you go to Target last week and it's sitting in your camera roll. Why don't you post it? I'm talking to you, like, literally. Post the content, post the content, post the content. It's not gonna happen until you post it. And people are like, oh, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think the content is this. Post it and grow. Post it and then reflect and grow. Post it, get feedback, and then grow. Post it, then you can watch and see where you were a year from now, and then you can see how yourself changed and how you grew over the course of the year. And if you don't post it, you're going to be in the same place a year from now. The year is going to go by anyway, so post your content and post it consistently. And then next year, reflect back on the year to date from the date that you posted it and be like, oh my gosh, I grew so much here. I grew so much there. I did this. I did that. I changed my content in the way that I used to film. My quality is better. My consistency is better. My dedication is better. My everything is better. Post that content. And I'm not going to keep telling y'all. Alright, someone asked about advice on getting brand deals and how does that work. I would encourage you to DM brands, reach out to brands, and make content with their stuff. Make content with their stuff, tag them. They're going to see it because all they do is sit online all day anyways, because the person who's managing that social media account, that's literally their job, to manage a social media account and get online and engage with people and pitch to people and talk to people like creators, because that's the space we're in now. We're moving away from that like commercial age and we're moving into that like content creation, making ad age, you know what I mean? So get online. You want to work with Kosas, go get that concealer and show us how you use that Kosas concealer. Tag them. They gonna comment. If they don't comment, DM them your video and be like, hey, I would love for you to send me this. I would love to get on your PR list. I would love the chance to work with you. I can do this, that, and other. And even if it doesn't come with like working with them first, they're more than likely going to send you a package or something like that, because they're always looking for outreach and PR, because obviously it's marketing. Like, they send you something, you talk about it, that's more money for them. So I would encourage you to make some content, tag the brand, email their PR list if you can find it. Now, I've seen a lot of creators put us on and like post the PR emails of like brands and things like that, and that is so special and that's so kind and so nice. But I would encourage you to DM the brands if you can find those emails, those PR emails. Email them, tell them who you are, why you love the brand, and why you would be a good fit for either a brand deal or just PR or gifting or something like that. But it's not really truly hard to get brand recognition, because like I said, they sit online all day and monitor their social media page. They engage with people. So it's not truly like climbing Mount Everest. Like, it's very reachable and very doable. So I would encourage you to make some content, tag the brands, and start interacting. Another good tip and trick I saw, I think Fumi mentioned this online. When you see people post sponsored like posts, engage with it. Engage in the comments, especially because the brands are looking at the comments, and that is no joke and no lie. Every brand deal that I've dropped, they're going back looking at analytics and they're looking at comments. So if y'all aren't in the comments, how would they even find the next person to work with? Like, and I'm not even trying to plug my like sponsored posts and content and stuff like that, but if you're a creator and you want more brand deals, this is 100% true. 100% true. Show up in the comments. The brand is going to go and scope those comments out, and they're like, oh, you like Amika dry shampoo? Let me see this. Oh, she's a creator. Let us pitch to her so she can use this dry shampoo next. And then boom, you got you a brand deal because you showed up in the comments of somebody else's sponsored post. That's literally genius. Someone asked, how are you handling / dealing with rapid growth on social media? Y'all, I'll take it for what it is. God has blessed me with community and is blessing me with more community. So I'm open to growing. I'm happy with it. The only thing that comes with more elevation and more growth is more hate. And I'm learning to balance that out. Another person asked, how do you deal with hate? Now, previously, I didn't deal with a lick of it, a touch of it, like at all. Like, I just didn't. It just wasn't there because I feel like I genuinely built a community. But nowadays, since I am growing more and just like showing up more online, hate comes with it. And like I mentioned this, I think in the last video, I'm learning to navigate that world. But at the end of the day, I am who God says I am. I'm not who y'all say I am. I'm not who anybody hating online says that I am. So I deal with it just as it is. Take it, throw it behind my back, because at the end of the day, it really truly means nothing. But that's easier said than done because I only am human, and I am seeing an uptick in things online, whether it be YouTube. It's people watching my YouTube videos just to hate in the comments. TikTok especially, Instagram, whatever the case may be. I'm seeing it and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are miserable. Like, nobody does that. Nobody does that in real life. Nobody will come up to you and be like, I hate your shoes. They are so ugly. The only people that do that are the people behind the keyboard. So at the end of the day, once you realize it's literally not real, like the internet is real and the force behind it is real, but somebody commenting to hate you and just projecting is not real. It does not directly affect you because it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the person behind the phone, the person behind the keyboard or wherever. Like it truly doesn't have anything to do with you. So I'm like, knowing that, do not dwell and do not let that affect you. So I'm like, okay, that's my daily reminder to be like, girl, you sound dumb and you're literally miserable, to be honest with you. So just brush it off and keep going. But with the rapid growth and just handling it, I don't think there's nothing to really handle beside like the hate stuff, and I just touched on that. So it's like I'm very open to growing. I'm very open to expanding. God has literally doubled and multiplied my territory, like expanded my territory by far. So it's like certain things come with that, and that's okay because I've always wanted this for myself once God gave me the vision, so it's fine. All right, now I think I've touched on all the content creation stuff. Hopefully you feel a little bit inspired to post that content. But let's switch and talk about career now. A lot of y'all know, or if you don't know, I am a scientist. I went to school for biology, also religious studies, and then biomedical science after that. A lot of people ask like how I even got here, like in Pennsylvania. I moved here for grad school, but yeah, I am a full-time scientist up until like last week actually, so I'm like still getting out of the motions of like saying that, but it's so surreal. A lot of people watched the last week's vlog and I opened up as to why I ended up leaving in that vlog. If you want to watch, you can, but I will speak about it today. And I'll say pretty much the exact same thing I said then. No job is worth your mental health. No job is worth your sanity. No job is worth your joy. I lost my joy for what it is that I did. A lot of people, like I said in that vlog, I ended up taking a different position almost a year ago. I ended up hating it but not regretting it because everything that I did was extremely strategic. God gave me a vision and I executed and I followed that vision. I won't get too much into the details of my exit from corporate America, but corporate America can be a very toxic place. It can condition you and mold you into thinking things are true that just simply aren't. It can take your joy. It can steal so much more than that from you. It'll burn you out. And I understand since reading those comments that a lot of people are in that same situation where they're going to work, they're hating it, it's burning them out, it's draining them, it's taking their joy. And I chose me. At the end of the day, God has supplied me with so much abundance and so much overflow that if I didn't need to be in that environment anymore, I wasn't going to. Now, it was a little bit of a shift for me because my passion is attached to science. And I'm also learning that it's okay to be multi-passionate. It's okay to do more than one thing in life because my life has been so structured in a way that I took step 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D to get to exactly where I was, right? Especially in that industry, it's very strategic. Like, you have to map out a way to get there, and I did that for my entire life. I've always been extremely structured, and to let go of that part of me in that realm has been a big adjustment. And I've been out of there this is my second week out. My last day was June 14th. So I'm adjusting and I'm still like managing my time and like just doing things. And a lot of people ask me about the balance between the two. Now, After a certain point, when you get to certain heights in both, it's almost inevitable. One would almost have to take the back burner because you can't split yourself like that, or you'll wear yourself thin and then you'll create like burnout. After a certain point, I started to realize where I was showing up as my whole self, and that continued to be online with y'all. I wasn't showing up as my whole self at work because I was miserable. I had no joy. I hated what I did. It was a toxic environment. And yeah, like I said, at a certain point, one of them started to take the back burner, and that was work for me. And I found more joy in this, and I prayed to God, and I'm like, Lord, I need you to make something shake. And then Kensington Gray came. I signed with my agency. I started to overflow in abundance on the financial side. God just started to show me things and just supply me with visions. And like I said, I'm going to execute those visions. I'm going to stand in obedience, and I'm going to do what he told me to do. I don't know how many of y'all are spiritual or not, but I heard the voice of God tell me to do something, and I'm going to obey. I'm going to follow it. And it's a little bit easier to follow it when your passion is attached to what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? And your joy is attached to it. So he gave me a vision. He told me to do something, and I'm doing it, and I'm not going to fall back on that. And I'm going to continue to build what I've already built. I'm going to continue to go hard at what I love to do, and I'm going to continue to praise him and thank him and honor him for all the glory, because it's not me, it's not y'all, it's literally him. Now, I do owe y'all a thank you, and I tell you thank you so much, because I am truly, truly, truly thankful. But the glory belongs to God. He has supplied me with everything from day one to day today, and today, whatever the last day will be. He has supplied me with everything, so the glory is his, the honor is his, and I'm going to continue to give that to him, but I'm going to give y'all the thanks along with him, because I wouldn't be where I am without y'all either. So yes, right now I am full-time online, and like I said, I touched more about it in that vlog, because I opened up, and like I was a little bit hesitant to open up, and I was a little bit anxious about it, because some people had been saying some stuff online about not supporting me if I ever left my full-time job and being disappointed or whatever. But I had to realize that I'm not living for others. I'm living for me. I'm living for me, and I'm doing what makes me happy. And I am going to continue to like fill myself with the joy that I know I deserve. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not showing up for other people. I'm going to show up for me, and I'm going to choose me. And that's exactly what I did. I'm out of that environment, and I'm so happy to be in this one full time. And I'm so grateful and blessed to be in this one full time. To even get to do this is such a blessing. To be able to say that this is my full-time job, and it supplies me with more than my corporate America job did, is outlandish. Do you understand how big of a blessing that is, to just be living in that abundance every single day? So I am thankful, I am grateful, and I'll never take it for granted, and I'll never complain about this. I hear people online, it's so hard to be a full-time creator, it's so hard. No, it is not. And I'm gonna be frank, no, it is not. Now, it is work, just like any other work is work, but this doesn't even compare to what I was doing before. Like, I was draining my brain every single day, and this is like, I've been filming every single day since I've left corporate America, whatever, and I'm working, but it does not compare to going to work for somebody else, like going to sit and do something that makes you miserable. This is freeing. And if anybody says that it's just the hardest job in the world and they don't have time for blah, blah, girl, please, I will never take this for granted. I will never complain about this. And I'm not saying it's not work, and I'm not saying that it can sometimes not be hard work, but what I am saying is, girl, to be able to do this full time is a blessing, and to not recognize that would be insane. Like, insane. This is a real job, yes, but it does not compare to some other jobs as far as like straining yourself goes. If I'm being honest with you, this is a luxury, honestly, and I'll never take it for granted. But I'm learning to create my new balance nowadays. In the last vlog, y'all have told me how much I inspired you through just my words, and I'm so glad that I could do that, and I hope I can continue to be an inspiration for y'all online, and you following your dreams and you following your passion. If God gave you a vision, execute your vision, and don't go and do something dumb and just up and quit when you know you don't have, you know, certain things in place. Use discernment, use wisdom, but follow your heart. And even if content creation is what you want to do full time, find a way to do that. Follow your heart, follow your joy, follow your passion. Do not let anybody talk you out of what you believe is right for yourself, what you know will like make you happy. Do you know what I mean? Follow your joy, follow your passion, follow your heart, and don't let anybody down talk you and bad talk you and talk you out of doing something that you know is for you, period. Now, thankfully, I have a lot of support in my everyday life and my personal life and just doing this, and I think that is partially because people can see the blessing and the joy attached to it. and can see the results that come from it. But if you're not seeing results and you want to do this full time, please do not give up, and do not let people talk you out of that because they don't see what you see attached to it. If you see the vision, you see the plan, help me Lord, you see it, go for it. Do not let anybody talk you out of what you see in your heart. God gave you a vision for a reason. He gave it to you. He didn't give it to the person who's bad talking you and talking you out of doing what you're trying to do. Girl, you better go do what you want to do. But yeah, like I said, I am full-time online right now, and my decision was, it was easy. Like I said, I had planned it out for a minute, and God supplied me with all the things that I needed to execute the vision, and then it came to pass, and I'm so grateful. But at the end of the day, I was never going to stay in a room that did not serve me. I was never going to continue to be depleted and the joy just continued to be drained out of me every single day. I was never going to continue to show up in a space that was not for me. And it was a little bit, like I said, hard for me to accept because science is for me. But I've seen God make shifts and give me new visions in a way to combine both passions, science and content creation, and being online and branding things and making brands and bringing in scientific aspects to it, and then having a new passion. Like I'm seeing the wonders in the works before my eyes, and to see it all be combined and just kind of like trickle down into this giant pool of what I want my life to be is so spectacular. Like, to see it is amazing. But I hope I continue to get y'all support here online, and I know that that's not going anywhere from true community members. Like I said in that last vlog, there has been a little bit of chatter online about like, oh, we love the balance of you doing both, and like, while I understand y'all love the balance, y'all don't know what it's like to balance them until you've done them. If you're doing content creation and you work full time, you know how hard it can be to show up in both spaces with boundaries. Especially, I never filmed about work, I never talked about work. That part of me was shut off when I turned on a camera or filmed anything. And I will still never fully divulge that part of my life because it is my private life. But nobody really truly understands. They just see the result of you showing up online, and they're like assuming what your life is and what it's not. But until you're in that space where you're being drained and burnt out every single day, I don't think you'll fully understand. And like I said, I chose me, and I'm glad that I did. I have no regrets in what I did. Now, I am still adjusting to this new life, but I will get there. I'll create a new balance. I'll create my new normal, and I'm very proud of myself. I'm very happy for myself. And like I said in that last vlog, I deserve every good thing, and so do you. I deserve every good thing out of this life. Every blessing God has given me, I deserve. So to just be living in the fullness of it is like amazing. Now this kind of like transitions into the concept of like relatability. Like I said, the little chatter online about the people like, oh, creators change when they go full time, and I understand that, but that concept of relatability is so interesting because I don't relate to creators or people online because of what they have or what they've done, or if they have a job or the lack thereof. That part has nothing to do with me. That's between them and God, or them and whoever else, or them and whoever they got that stuff from. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what car you drive. I don't care. That has nothing to do with me. I'm going to relate to you based off your morals, your characteristic, your personality, how you show up online. If that relates to me, then yes, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I can relate to that person. But your monetary value has nothing to do with me relating to you. So I think there's this thing, this concept of like struggle like me. The struggle like me mindset, I believe, is so real, where people are like, once you start to elevate to a certain level, they in their heads think that it's unattainable when it's not. I'm not the first person to be blessed. I'm not the last person to be blessed. That same blessing that exists on anybody's life can exist on your life if you bring it to you. You pray for that blessing. You ask God to give you that blessing. But the very moment that you start hating on those people and you start to let jealousy and envy and strife fill your heart is when God can never fully bless you to the extent that for what he has for you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like God has something so big in store for you, but it's like, dang, I can't give it to you because you're hating on this girl or that girl or comparing yourself to this person or that person. Once you fully let go of that and bask in the fullness of what he has for you, he will supply you with your desires of your heart. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, keeping that in your heart can never be beneficial. And I've noticed that a lot online, where people are like, I stopped supporting this girl because she has too many luxury bags. I stop supporting this girl because she drives this car now, and I just can't relate to that. Baby, you can get that exact blessing from God, period. He blessed her and he will bless you unless you keep that in your heart is when you start to block stuff that God has for you in every aspect. I'm not just talking about content creation or whatever. If you are looking at somebody's blessings and you're like, oh my gosh, da 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 blah blah, just speaking negativity over it, it'll never fully come to you. Now God will bless you, and I'm not God, so I can't tell you what he exactly will and won't do, but I do know that he will never give you the fullest extent of the blessing until you get rid of that, until you're open and ready to receive what he has for you and you only. And while I love being the perfect balance of relatable and inspirational, I also think that there's this concept in people's head where it's like people have to be on the same level and people aren't allowed to grow and expand their territory and evolve into different people, right? People are not supposed to stay the same. You're not supposed to stay the same. I'm not supposed to stay the same. So to expect that out of somebody and like creators is it's almost ignorant, because it's like people are ever evolving, ever changing, and ever expanding, right? So it's like the minute you start to compare and like place a certain mindset in things that you do is when I think you're limiting yourself. Like I said, I love being relatable, quote unquote relatable, because in my head, that's such a concept that's all the time not real, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't relate to people based off what they have. I relate to people based on their morals, their characteristics, their personality, how you show up online. And if it's like I can see myself in you. If I can see myself in you, it's like I can relate to you. But all that monetary stuff, it has nothing to do with me. So it's like I can't say that that is leading or charging anything in that relatability conversation. And I almost don't like the concept in the conversation of relatability, because I think a lot of hate comes from it, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I hate that. I hate that for us. I hate that for like anybody that I see. I hate that because as soon as I see negativity and hate, I'm like, man, like God is gonna bless you, but like you're stopping a certain portion of that blessing. And it's unfortunate to see. It's almost sad to see online. That's why I always show up as positive, joyful, open to receiving the fullness of life, because I know that it exists, and I'm not stopping that from coming to me by comparing myself to somebody else or saying that I hate this for somebody else or just showing up negative online or whatever in real life too. Like I'm not letting anything get in the way of the blessing that God has for me. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. Like I said in that last vlog, if I see somebody get blessed enough to buy their own house, buy their own whatever, I'm like, Lord, thank you for blessing them, God. Thank you for blessing them, because you blessing them like that, I know you can bless me, because that's not the first person to be blessed, and that's not the last person that will ever be blessed. He has a blessing for everybody in store, but it's like, I don't know, the fullness of it, you have to open your heart to receive the fullness of it. But that's a little bit into like what like crafted my decision to leave that space. At the end of the day, I'm gonna choose me every single time. I'm not gonna continue to show up in an environment that's not serving me. If it doesn't serve me, truly it does not have purpose. And I'm glad that God was able to open up my mind and let me know that it's okay to be ever evolving and to be in different environments and to have different passions and to have different things that bring you joy. And that's okay. Especially as I get older, I'm learning that, and I'm very glad that he placed that on my heart. But if you're in that situation and you know you have a different passion, I would encourage you to fuel that passion, to grow that passion, to cultivate it, and eventually hopefully it can become something that you do full-time if that's what you want out of life. So yeah, that's where I am, and I'm very glad to be doing this, and I'm very glad to have y'all support in doing this. So now we can start talking about other things like dating and just like random stuff. A lot of people are asking me like, if I'm dating, what's your dating life update? Dating. And I'm like, y'all, you want to know what I'm really truly focused on? Friendship. And this sounds so cheesy, it's so like cliche, but y'all, God has supplied me with so much friendship. Oh my gosh. And if you've been watching my vlogs for a while, you know I've been praying for that. Like I want friends. Like I want friends. I want women around me who fill my cup and uplift me and supply me with joy and everything that life has to offer. So it's like I've been getting that out of life. Like I have so many friends now, and it feels so good. And people are probably watching my videos like, girl, you ain't have no friends? No. I really truly didn't have a lot of friends. Like I moved away from my home in Michigan, came here, made a couple friends in that first year that I was here, realized that it's okay to not be like everybody. It's okay to not be friends with everybody. Now I've met a lot of people have asked me like how I met my friends. I've met them online, honestly. Now, you do have to be careful. I mentioned this in the last like chit chat life update video that we did. You have to be careful meeting people online. You have to be careful meeting people in real life. You have to use wisdom and discernment in every walk of life, especially with like bringing people into your life, right? Now, I've had some one-off situations online where I've made friends with people and they turned out to be absolutely not what I thought that it was. And that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to get along with everybody you meet. You don't have to be best friends with everybody you meet. It's okay to meet people and then leave them where they are, and then you go and do what you want to do out of like in life. Like, it's okay. You don't have to be buddy best friend with everybody you meet. But I also believe in different friends for different things. Like, you have friends that you can go ride bikes with. You have friends that you can go shopping with. Like, that's a thing. Not everybody has to be your soulmate of a best friend. It's just important for me to have companionship and just to be around like-minded women, because it fuels my cup. But back to the dating situation, like I said, I'm really prioritizing a girls summer because that's everything to me right now. But I do want to be married. I do want to be in a relationship. I do want to have children. And I realize like it has to come from somewhere. So it's like I'm trying to just balance every aspect of my life. And I was doing the work and content thing for so long and burning myself out that I didn't have time for that. But I'll say this, like I've said on every live when people ask me, if somebody asks me out and I'm interested in them, hands down, I'd go. For sure, I'd go. But I'm not sticking my neck out, like, seeking after men, because right now, the fullness of life does not lie in them. Like, it really, truly doesn't. It really lies in following my joys and my passions and creating friendship with other women. Like, it'll come because God, He knows the desires of my heart. He knows that I desire to be married. He knows that I want a family, right? So it has to come, but I gotta just wait on it because, girl, I don't know where it's at. Like, I have no idea where it's at, and I'm open to it 100%, but I'm not truly dating right now because it ain't nobody to date. There's nobody to date. And there is, but I have not stuck my neck out there to go seek out that life because right now it's just like, who would you date? But I do want that. It is a desire, but it's also difficult, you know what I mean? So it's like, but I would encourage you to have some boundaries, keep them in place, know what you want out of your dating life. Tell God the desires of your heart and watch Him supply it to you. Yeah, but for me right now, it's just not necessarily a priority, but I do want that out of life. But I don't know how to get there. Like, y'all are in love. How did you even find somebody to like? How do you find somebody to even like? Girl, I haven't liked nobody in so long. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. But like I said, God will deliver on His word, and when it comes, it comes. But for right now, it's just kind of non-existent. But I kind of want it to be existent, but I kind of don't. I don't know what space I'm in. It's just weird. Let me know if you can relate to that. But it's like, I'm just kind of existing. But I'm happy and I'm full, and my joy meter is off the charts. And to be honest with you, I'm not trying to disrupt my peace because that's what a lot of them do. Like, a lot of men come and disrupt peace. But you just have to know what you want out of your dating life and know what you want out of a man, and then navigate it in that direction. This one's a good one because it goes back to the friendship thing I was just talking about, how to build sisterhood / find new friendships. I would encourage you to reach out and stick your neck out there for friendships. You do that for relationships, do that in whatever regard you want, but until you like put yourself out there, I don't think that you'll like be receiving everything that life has, because it's like, I understand that things will come to you, but it also takes effort and work too. Like, any friendship's gonna take effort and work. Any relationship's gonna take the same thing. So it's like, for me, it's like, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Now, like I said, I've had one-off experiences with friendships in this world, and especially since being online, because not everybody has pure intentions in their heart. Not everybody has something good for you in their heart. But you have to be able to discern that, and a lot of that comes through trial and error. So I would encourage you to reach out to people and to see if you have like things in common, and just to be careful while you're doing it. Proceed with caution. Don't let people know where you live during like the first link up or whatever. Friendships and relationships, meet them at the place, feel them out, scope that scenery out, and then figure out if you can see yourself being friends with somebody or in a relationship with somebody. Anything, trial and error, honestly, but put yourself out there. I encourage you to do that. What's your favorite accomplishment so far this year? It is gonna go back to community for me. Like I said before, community is everything, and I think my biggest accomplishment that I recognize this year is how much community I've built, how much fullness comes with that. It's like, I don't want to say my biggest accomplishment was hitting 100K or whatever the case may be, or bringing in however much revenue, because without community, none of that would be possible. So my biggest accomplishment this year, definitely leaving my job, and number 2, community building. Like, the way I've been able to build community to fuel everything that I'm doing currently is the biggest accomplishment so far this year. And then being able to, you know, take a leap of faith and leave my job, like being able to use my courage and my strength to follow the obedience of God and follow what he has for me, and not being afraid to do so. So those are my 2 biggest accomplishments, and raising the 2 dogs, obviously, because they require a lot of work. All right, somebody asked about my mental health since the incident last summer. If you don't know, I was unfortunately assaulted by a neighbor last summer. I have a video up about it already. I won't get into it because YouTube be picky about what I say. But since then, I've been in therapy and I've healed tremendously. Now, it has shaped me and changed me in a way that sometimes I see as unfortunate, like the hypervigilance, the way I live my life. There's certain levels of fear that I have in doing certain things, but I try not to let that stop me from, you know, experiencing the fullness of life. Everything has changed in my life since that moment. And I'm so glad that I got justice for that situation, but everything has changed. My outlook has changed. The way I carry myself on a day-to-day basis has changed. Everything about safety has changed 100%. I am like the most hypervigilant person ever, I feel like now. So it's changed me and it's shaped me, but I do believe everything happens for a reason. And if that didn't happen, I literally wouldn't be in the exact space I'm in right now. Like, God got me out of that environment and placed me in a new one. I just believe it all happened for a reason. So I am good since that situation. So thank you for asking. Somebody asked, do you plan on moving to a different state? Girl, yes. I don't plan on staying in Pennsylvania forever. I want to move to the DMV so bad. Like, oh my gosh, I want to live there so bad. I just want to buy a townhome there and just live my happy little life, but definitely not staying in Pennsylvania. Must have perfumes for summer. Y'all, oh my gosh, I have so many. Top 5 perfumes: Vanilla Woods, I wear that year round. Glossier You, Clean Reserve Skin. I love Forever Mood You Remind Me, or Miel Bebe from Le Monde Gourmand. And lately I've been really into like these summery combos, so like Finery Pistachio Please and Brown Girl Jane Carnival. If you watch any of my videos, you see like all my fragrance combos and like what I'm obsessed with at the moment. But girl, I love fragrance. I'm so passionate about fragrance. Somebody asked, what are your goals for 25? Oh my gosh, y'all, I wanna buy a home. It doesn't have to be this year, and I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself because I don't want to be disappointed. But I want to buy a home very, very, very badly. I want to continue to raise my dogs. I want to continue to live in abundance. A goal eventually is to be married, but like right now it just is what it is. Kind of like what we were talking about as far as dating goes. But girl, I'm just grateful. Like, I'm grateful to be in the land of the living. I just want to continue to live in abundance, honestly. I'm not going to ask for too much at one time, but also it's okay to strive for greatness. It's okay to want everything out of life. Like, it's okay because you deserve everything out of life, period. Some people are like asking me about my diet and like my vegan lifestyle. Y'all, I'm not vegan. I am allergic to dairy, and that doesn't mean I'm lactose intolerant. Like, I literally will trigger an immune response to dairy. Like, I am full-blown allergic to it, so I don't eat any of it. So when I say vegan this and vegan that, it's just because it's a safe option for me to eat. But I'm not vegan. Like, I eat lamb chops and I be eating bacon. I be eating chicken wings. Like, I'm not vegan. I don't think I could ever fully be vegan because my diet has so many like restrictions in it. I also am allergic to seafood and like peanuts. So it's like I don't eat a lot of stuff as is. So I don't think I could be vegan, girl. I don't know how I would survive. Someone said, how do you feel about starting over a long-term relationship / career, and what are your thoughts on it? Girl, I'm such an advocate of starting over. If God has given you a vision to start something new, please do it. Don't let nobody stop you. I'm such an advocate of starting over. But like I said, sometimes when you're in a motion of life, some things can be hard to accept, that you have to move on from it or grow above it, or you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm a big advocate of starting over, but also like you have to accept the new stage of life that you're gonna be in. Places to buy clothing staples at. Y'all, I love me some Aritzia. I'm fond of Zara. I know a lot of Zara gets a lot of hate or whatever. I like their pieces. Lately, yo, oh my goodness, you're gonna hurt yourself. Lately, I've been so into Urban Outfitters. I didn't know that they store smack like that. I have found me some good pieces from Urban Outfitters. If you watch the vlogs, you know what I've been buying, but Y'all didn't vlog last weekend and I went to the mall and I found some really cute stuff. Like these little tank tops that they have been so, like, such a staple for me. I know I'm wearing like cold weather clothes right now. It's because my air conditioning is on like 71 and I'm in the house all day, so I wanted to like be cozy, but it's so hot outside. But I've been finding a lot of summer staples at Urban Outfitters of all places. Y'all need to check it out if you haven't, because like me, I haven't been to Urban Outfitters in years. I didn't even know that they were still around, girl, but they got some good stuff. Like I said, Aritzia, they run a couple summer sales, so that's nice. Zara, they got some nice stuff. I've been loving Mango lately. I've been trying to get into more online shopping, y'all, because I don't shop online. If you know me, you know that I'm not an online shopper at all. Like, I need to be in person, feeling the quality, trying it on, seeing how big or small it is. I just don't get a lot of satisfaction from online shopping either. It feels like I'm actually spending money when I shop online. I don't know why, but when I'm in person, I'm like, girl, where's the budget? She doesn't exist. When I'm in person, I'm like, I'm just having such a good time. The experience, the air, the smelling good. It's just like all of it combines to just makes for a spectacular experience. But yeah, those right now are my favorite stores. Somebody asked, what's the key to being put together? And oh my gosh, I've seen these debates online about like the soft girl aesthetic or clean girl aesthetic or whatever, and how it's not real. And in my opinion, and you take it for what you want, but being put together and living that soft life for me comes with God. And I know people probably not looking for spiritual answers all the time, but that is who I am and I'll never shy away from it. But being quote unquote put together literally comes from God. I'm sorry, my dog is barking. Like, that whole thing of like, first of all, I do not have everything together, and I never want anybody to think that I am not a perfect person. I am a human being. Like, I do not have everything together, but I like this little life, girl. And that comes with knowing God and allowing him into my heart fully, and fully surrendering me to him. That is my soft life. That is the key for me being put together, because God has it together and he has supplied me with my wants and my desires and my needs to have it together to a certain extent. But I am not perfect. Somebody said, like, how you got your own apartment? Can you talk about that? I've always been career oriented and career driven. Social media truly didn't give me everything that I had or have. God gave it to me, but also like I went on my own path. I created a career and then I picked up a camera, and it came in conjunction with that. Everything I have is not owed to social media, it's owed to God. But I was living the life that I'm living before I ever picked up a camera, y'all. I went to school for 4 years in undergrad, went to grad school. I simultaneously got a job full-time while I was in grad school in biopharma. Previously, before that, I had worked in cosmetic microbiology for a cosmetic company or whatever. So I have a lot of cosmetic background, and then I have a lot of biopharma background, a lot of research background, and all that went into building my career. And thankfully, I was able to afford the lifestyle that I desired and wanted through my career. But everybody's story looks different. Everybody's situation looks different, and it does not have to follow mine. You don't have to follow somebody else's. Just do what works for you and follow your heart. But through my career, like when I moved to Philly, I was able to get an apartment with another girl. She was in my program. And then after that, I was able to get my own apartment. And then after that, I was able to get another apartment. And then I was able to get this apartment. Every single step has been multiplied. Like, everything has been multiplied. Currently, I am at the largest territory I own. Like, I have. Like, God has expanded my territory and just supplied me with so much. And I love the trend of upward growth. Like, I love how every year I can look back at the previous year and be like, man, look at the supply I have now. Look at the abundance I'm living in now. Like, I want to continue to go on that upward trajectory in life. Like, I want to expand every time. Like, I want to go from 2 bedrooms to a townhome. I want to go from townhome to a home. Girl, I want to expand. I want to climb my steps to get to where I got to be. I don't want to ever move in a negative direction or in a backward direction. How do you put your outfits together? Oh my gosh. So in my head, my philosophy is a good pair of quality jeans and a cute top, and whether it's winter, summer, spring, whatever. Now, I like to layer in the fall and winter. If you've been watching, I love layering. But lately in the summer, I think my favorite thing about summer is just how simple you can be, but how put together you could be. A nice pair of pants or jeans with a beautiful top is so underrated. It don't even gotta be jeans, because I know a lot of y'all don't like wearing jeans, but girl, I'm a jean fanatic. But a cute jean and a cute top is just like the summer combo, or like a cute short and a cute top. Something that's flattering, something that fits your body. Like, the silhouette needs to be nice. I think learning how to shop for yourself and your body type is so important. Like, I know what'll look good on me and what won't. Maybe we'll start like a little series or something on TikTok about like just shopping. Like, maybe instead of my little spend day with me, we go to the mall, I can strategically tell you what I'm looking for, exactly why I'm buying something and exactly why I want it in the quality. Maybe we can do that. I don't know. I seen Janae Naylor do that online, so maybe we can tap into that. But that's actually a good idea. But yeah, for me, it's just a cute jean in the top, something that looks good together. If I'm wearing baggy jeans, I need a little bit of a smaller, tighter top. I love certain silhouettes on me, and I don't love certain ones on me. So it's just, I guess, knowing how to shop for yourself. Are you still considering moving to Texas or the DMV area? Yes, the DMV. I kind of let Texas go, y'all, because it's just so far, and I don't know nobody out there. What do you do on your downtime? Y'all, I am such a big component of relaxing, and nobody could ever make me feel bad for it. Please go rest and relax. Please go rest and relax. Like, nobody could ever make me feel bad for that. Now, I don't fill all my time with that, but I am such a big component of rest. Like, you need rest, okay? A lot of y'all was probably able to tell, like, when my job was stressing me out and how much it was stressing me out, because I would mention it, and, like, my whole, like, physical would just change because I was just so stressed. And once that starts to, like, weigh on you like that is when you need to start choosing you, but, like, also prioritizing rest. Like, I'm a big advocate of prioritizing your rest. A lot of people are asking about the dogs. They're doing really well, y'all. Java is still extremely reactive. He is due to be neutered actually next week, so I'm still putting that into motion, and it might have to get pushed back because I have some last minute travel and stuff to do, but we'll see. But I'm still getting him neutered, not as like a it'll fix his personality thing, because it won't, but more so as a preventative measure. I don't want his reactivity to get worse when that testosterone really starts to, like, run through his body. So I would like to prevent that. So I do believe he needs to be neutered due to his temperament. He is a really good boy, and I like to speak positivity and encouragement over him. But some days it is still hard, like, to deal with the reactivity. I find it a little bit easier now. Maybe I've adapted. Maybe I haven't. I don't know, but yeah, we balance the things. He still goes on his solo walks. I still pour into him. He hasn't really been back to that training facility because they are wasting my money like hardcore. Like, every time we go, they just teach him the same thing they taught him last week, and I need help. Like, I need a behaviorist for Java. Like, not just somebody to teach me how to walk him on a leash. I know how to teach a dog how to walk on a leash, like, period. I did it before, I can do it again. But he needs real help. He doesn't need like, just somebody who thinks they know what they're doing. Like, he needs somebody who can flip and switch this thing around. Well, he really needs God, but beyond God, he needs a behaviorist. So I've just been looking into that for him. And then Juno is doing amazing. He's still the best boy in the world, and they still get along incredibly well, and I'm very grateful to have the both of them. I think they are asking, how do I keep things fun while working and doing YouTube for the dogs? It is so important to pour into your dogs, y'all. If you do not have the space and capacity and just lifestyle for a dog, I would not recommend going to get one. I always have had that capacity and space because I wanted it. Like, I wanted to create that environment for them. So no matter how busy I am, I'm still going to pour into my dogs. I'm still going to give them everything they need and want. I don't even know what they want because they can't talk to me, but I'm going to give them everything I think that they want. And I'm still going to continue to pour into them and encourage them and uplift them. I know they're dogs, but it's so important because they live amongst me and they are literally a direct reflection of me. So it's like, I want them to be happy. Like, I'm happy, I'm living my little life, and I want them to live their happy little lives also. So you need to have time to pour into them, have time to exercise them, enrich them, walk them, all of the above, instead of just letting them sit around all day and do nothing. But I think they're in pretty good shape. Someone asked about, like, new hobbies, y'all. Since I do have a little bit more time on my hands, I wanted to get into some more stuff, specifically stuff that'll keep me active. Now, I feel like I didn't have a lot of time for that before because, girl, you already know. If you know, like, the balance between, like, content creation and work and dogs and just personal life, I never really prioritized, like, my fitness, and I want to do that, especially with it being summer. So, like, maybe tennis or something to just keep me active. Let me know what y'all are doing this summer as far as, like, hobbies go, because I would love to get into something new. I just need to, like, branch out and just, like, since I have the time for it now, you know. I would love to continue Pilates. I haven't been back since the Nike ad, so maybe I'll get into that, or just, like, tennis or badminton or something to just keep me moving. How do you deal with social anxiety and attending events solo? Now, the solo thing has always been a strength of mine because I don't know, like, I just crave being alone. It's never really been hard for me to be solo. I've always done a lot of things by myself, so that part really isn't difficult. But I do still have a little bit of social anxiety because I grew up extremely shy. So I'm still, like, seeing, like, remnants of, like, that social anxiety come into play. But really, you just exist in a moment and be like, nobody cares. Like, even when people be like, how do you film in public? How do you get the courage to film in public? Girl, literally nobody cares. Like, if they care for 5 seconds. And when that 5 seconds is gone, it's gone. But you're gonna have your content. Like, pull out your content. Don't be scared of these people, because at the end of the day, they have nothing to do with what you're doing. And it's the same thing with like the social anxiety. Like, I have to tell myself, like, girl, you gotta let that go. Like, that stuff is not even real. Like, just be in this environment that you are blessed to be in, whether it be a brand event, a party, whatever the case may be. Just be in that environment and realize nobody truly cares about you. They only ever, like, think about it. When you're somewhere, do you care about somebody else, or do you, like, you think about you, right? And I feel like that's everybody, but we be in our own heads, and we definitely have to get out of it. Like, anxiety is not real. The enemy's a liar, and it's running out of breath. Like, don't let that engulf you. And that's literally me talking to me. Like, I have to tell myself that most times. But as far as filming solo and doing things solo, I don't ever have anxiety about that. But when it comes to like people and like being around large groups, like, I get a little bit of anxiety. So I just have to coach myself, like, girl, you are okay. Fear is not real. Anxiety is not real. Like, just be in the moment and exist, because you were blessed with the opportunity to do so. All right, let's end with advice for the 20-something girl is, please remain true to who you are. Keep God centered if that's something that you know, your heart desires. That's certainly something that my heart desires. Choose some boundaries, stay strong on them, have fun. Don't forget to live, to breathe, to just exist. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. I'm talking to myself also, by the way. Like, don't be too hard on yourself. Coach yourself, talk to yourself, uplift yourself. Realize you are basically all that you have, you and God. Like, yes, there's people that care about you, there's community to uplift you, but at the end of the day, if you're not going to uplift yourself, if you're not going to care for yourself in the fullest, then like, how can anybody else? Give yourself exactly what you want, pour into yourself. It's literally all about self. I think that's like a big theme of this year for me. Just self-reflection, keeping yourself centered, pouring into yourself, growing yourself, doing any and everything you can for yourself in the betterment of yourself. I would say to not like engulf yourself too much in like the dating thing, the men thing, or whatever it is you prefer in that arena thing. Prioritize yourself, focus on yourself, pour into yourself, like I said, and I think you'll see real results from that. All right, y'all, I answered the bulk load of those questions. Obviously, I couldn't get to all of them, but let me know what kind of content y'all want to see from me next, because I do have a lot, or a little bit more time on my hands. So I would love to just like curate this new age of me in social media into like what y'all want to see. Now, I'll never stop vlogging. I don't want to say never, but right now, vlogging is just so fun. Like, it just fills my heart so much. I love vlogging, but outside of the vlogs, let me know what y'all want to see, whether it be long form here on YouTube, short form there on TikToks. I still love weekend vlogging and filming, because my life is still structured in a way to where like I'm filming for brands during the week, and then on the weekends I'm having my fun and just living my life. So I don't think the weekend vlogs will stop. If anything, I'll start to incorporate some weekdays into those vlogs. If you'd like to see like a spend the week with me type of vlog, that's fine also. But I'm still doing a lot on the weekends because it's the weekend and I'm just structured in that way. Maybe I'll eventually start to like get out of that mindset. I don't know. But let me know what kind of content y'all want to see just as a whole. I hope y'all really enjoyed this video. I'll be back with another vlog next week for y'all. I have some exciting plans over the weekend. I'm actually headed to New York for a brand event tomorrow, so that should be pretty fun. And yeah, I want to thank y'all again for all the support, all the uplifting words and encouragement on that last video. It really truly filled my heart. I was just crying and crying and crying, because I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful. But yeah, I hope y'all have a blessed rest of your week, and until next time, I'll see y'all. Bye.